you desire in your entire desire bucket, your desire chest, your all of your dreams and hopes and all of that can literally manifest into physical reality once you get rid of your limiting beliefs. Excuse me, I just got out of the sauna. I'm actually waiting to fill up my water and they're not open yet. So this has been really on my heart, and I have a couple stories to tell you guys about why this is so important. Okay? Our life, which most of us don't really realize, our life is an entire collection of belief systems that have been put onto us. Okay? So for example, I feel like I can speak to this really well because I am half Black, and I actually just found out on my maternal side, my ancestry trails back to Africa from the Mendi people in the Sierra Leone area. I believe Sierra Leone is a country. Anyways, so I'm half Black and I'm half Punjabi. And growing up, I feel like I literally saw how one set of beliefs are correct and how another set of beliefs are correct. Okay? And if you notice, in the world, not often you don't see a ton of Punjabi people mixing with Black Americans. Of course, you see it a little bit here and there. There might be a couple friendships here and there. But let's just be honest. In general, you're not going to see Punjabi people and Black Americans mixed up. So we can agree that, and it's not even like we can agree, I lived it. Two very, very different lifestyles. Of course, there's some similarities as far as like the inherent, like we want friendship. We both cultures want love. Both cultures love good food. Both cultures love to dance. Things like that. But the ideologies and the belief systems, the mental construct of Punjabi people and the mental construct of Black people is different. So what I want you to understand is that depending on your belief systems, it can either propel you forward in certain areas or it can really hold you back in other areas. Okay? So because I was raised in America, and being Punjabi, my father is very traditional. Like it's almost like if you were to zoom into my dad's life in him living in California, you would think it was India. Like he's not Americanized. Like he kind of had a phase where he was Americanized, but he is a traditional Punjabi human being living just on American soil. Okay. And then my mom grew up with a Christian foundation. Her grandfather was the head of a church. Her grandmother, my great-grandmother, Elizabeth, who my middle name I'm named after, she was the mother of the church, and it was very much rooted in that Southern mentality of Christianity, right? But in Los Angeles, California. But all my Black side migrated from Tennessee and from Arkansas over to Los Angeles. So as you can imagine, growing up, I lived with my mom mainly, but I always visited my dad. So I was just back and forth, right? So from an infant, I was just kind of my brain was being structured in a way where I saw that outcomes, you can get to outcomes in two different ways. But what that taught me is actually it could be hundreds of different ways. And I think where society goes wrong is we're constantly trying to fight in battle with which one is correct over the other. There isn't one that's correct over the other. They're both right. They're all right depending on the mental construct that you grew up in, and then as you become an adult, you can decide to stay in that, or you can feel nudged to go into another mental construct. And I really feel like it was a blessing. I was very confused growing up. I really was on my own journey because my mix, I guess there's a lot in the UK. I don't know any. I didn't meet another Black and Punjabi person until I was much older in my adult life, and it's a man. And so there's still like a disconnect on the fact that he's a man, I'm a woman. I've still never met a half black, half Punjabi woman. I'm starting to kind of come across them on TikTok, which is kind of cool, which is one of the amazing things about the internet. It exposes you to different people. But so what I want to say is that you can unlock different things in your life if you just decide to step into a more expansive way of thinking. Break down the walls of your beliefs if you are looking around and you do not have the life that you want. So for example, let me read your comment really quick. Same here in Ontario, the ideologies are different. I do lean some I think you meant learned. I do learned some Punjabi after I listened to Sidhu. Folk can learn a lot from each other. More than one path to the goal. Yes. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like I grew up seeing my mom and dad were divorced when I was like, I think less than 1 year old. It's not really a big deal. Two different backgrounds. It was too difficult at that time to like be able to make a relationship work where there's just such different cultures. Like it just was too hard at that time. Probably could, I could see how maybe Indians and blacks could mix now because it's like more accepted and things like that, but it just was too hard back then. So whatever, they were together for 3-4 years, broke up, whatever. So I was back and forth, and I literally got to watch my mom's path and my dad's path. So my mom was in an apartment, my dad was in an apartment. My mom went to a little bit bigger of an apartment, my dad went to a little bit bigger of an apartment. My mom went into a bigger of apartment, my dad went into a bigger apartment too. My mom went into her first home that she bought as a single woman, and my dad went into his home that he bought. Now, maybe he owned like real estate like in India or something, but like in America, he went, from apartment to owning his first home in America. And he's remarried and all that. So I have a stepmother. And so, but it wasn't like you would think on the outside, right? Like, oh, well, like if your mental construct and your belief system was that, oh, if you're single and black, if you're a single mom and black in America, it's just going to be too difficult for you to own your own home. Like, it's just too hard for black people. We've gone through this. They've done redlining on us. Society hates us. So if you come from that mental construct, then you wouldn't even be able to open up your mind that you could actually own your own home as a single black woman, a single mom in America with 2 children, no male support. If my mom decided to just lean into life's done for me, or now I don't have as many opportunities, then my mom would have never bought a home. Now my dad, it wasn't even a question. Like in the Punjabi culture, as a man, you're gonna eventually, like, it's just you don't even second guess it. Like as a man, you're gonna own a home. Like there's no like, if there's no like, oh, this is so difficult, like we don't even know where to start. It's just like part of being ingrained in the culture. So where my mom, it wasn't ingrained in the culture. It's kind of like, unless you maybe are married, or maybe you have help from like your mom and your dad, or maybe you grew up in like a more affluent area. But like to be a single mom and be black, it's not common for women in that position to end up owning their own home. But my mom didn't have that mental construct. She just said, I'm going to follow where God wants me to go. I'm going to work my hardest. I'm going to provide for my children. I'm going to do what I need to do. And I'm open to the portal of what God's going to bless me with the knowledge, the skills, the assets and resources, right? So I just say all that to say, like, what are you holding back on in life? Like, what are you holding on to that is a limiting belief? So is it like, oh, well, the people in my family are just big. They're big and they're overweight and they're fat. It is what it is. I'm going to accept myself for me. Da, da, da. I'm just going to be flat out honest. Most of the women in my family are obese. Okay. Most of the women in my family are obese. And actually, I mean, most of them, like I want to even say all, except me. So if I grew up thinking, okay, well, all the women around me are obese, and, you know, that's just my reality. Like, that's just going to be where I end up. I'm drinking my RYZE Mushroom Coffee. Okay. So that's just going to be my life. I'm just going to be a overweight, obese person, because this is what we do. This is the path of a Black woman in America. At a certain point, you're just going to be overweight. You're just going to end up having diabetes, heart pressure issue. Like, it just is what it is. And if I decided to just fit into that belief system, because even like growing up, I would say, I kind of imagine myself as a fit person for the rest of my life. And I would even have family members that are not healthy would say, no, just wait for it. Time's going to hit you. And, you know, I just kind of would be like, you know, and I just still have continued on my path. And now I'm a full on adult and I'm still in shape and I'm healthy. And so what that told me was that I actually, without really even consciously realizing it, like, I decided to adopt a new belief system for myself. I decided not to completely immerse myself into that mental construct of, if you're Black in America, you're gonna end up overweight by a certain age, guaranteed. Let me read your comments. So it says, the beautiful thing about being a human and living now with access to technology, you can find people and examples of your current situation and when you're seeking. Absolutely. That's why I love doing YouTube. I love it. Humans have the power to change their mind. The magic happens when you apply action. Absolutely. Embracing the limiting beliefs can turn individual groups into perpetual victims. Exactly. So, like, I could have signed on to, I have big hair today, so I'm going to keep messing with it until I like am able to put it up and whatever. I actually forgot a scrunchie, but I think I hope you really are hearing me, to everyone that's hearing this live and anyone that hears this on the live replay. So with me being Black and Punjabi, I really feel like I just kind of ended up getting a gift in the confusion, immersed. A gift came out of the confusion growing up, which is that I have the construct of seeing that multiple things can be done multiple ways and they're both correct. So with that being said, if you want to have the body of your dreams, if you want the money of your dreams, if you want the man or woman of your dreams, if you want the children of your dreams, you can have it. It's yours. It's yours to have if you decide to have it. So if the second you say, and I'm still going through this too, I feel like I'm getting better and better at it every year that I'm on the planet. You'll notice I never say age or old. That feels good to me when I say just another year on the planet. So as I spend more years on the planet, I feel like I'm getting better and better at that. The second I say, but that there's a limiting belief there. There's a limiting belief. I did this the whole time, even with YouTube. There was a limiting belief. Oh, well, I need to have a lighting. I need to have a Canon Sony camera, $2,000 camera. I need to have this. I need to have that. I need to have a script. And then one day I just was like, that's all a limiting belief. That's all a limitation. I just turned on the camera and press on. Right now I'm in my car. I'm on YouTube with 3 beautiful souls watching, and I love it. And I didn't put a mental construct on myself with that, right? So how many things are you putting on how many limitations are you really putting on yourself, right? In your life that's holding you back from getting you to where you want to be, from starting the book, from quitting the job and getting another one. Oh, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to ever find a job again if it doesn't work out. but I don't want to quit because I don't know where my next source of income is. But it's too hard to start the business while I'm working because I'm just too tired. But what if my relationship goes down the tube because now in my free time, I'm actually starting my business? But what if there's a solution to every single thing? And an exercise that you can do is actually write out all the limiting beliefs. So if you have a desire to do something, and then you feel like this like pit, like in your, kind of like in your chest or your gut, and you're like, but write all the buts out, write them all out. But I'm too ugly, but I'm too fat, but I'm too broke, but I'm too dumb, but so-and-so said I can't do that, but people where I'm from don't do that, but people that look like me can't do that. But, and then you just literally put all the buts out, and then you go through each one and say, is that really true? Is it really true? Is there no one on the planet that's ever done it? Well, actually, yeah, I know so-and-so was able to still do it. Oh, well, yeah, I actually follow someone on Instagram that's doing it right now. Oh, okay. Or if you really don't know anybody or have any examples of it, just say, so what? So every single but that you put, every rebuttal that you put, if you get stuck with one of them, just say, well, so what? So like, for example, my mom basically did that without even knowing it. So her being a single Black woman, a dark skinned, beautiful, single Black woman that grew up in South Central LA. She moved around in, you know, Compton, Carson, different areas in LA. Okay. Her childhood and preteen years. She could have said, you know what? I'm a Black girl from South Central LA. Where I'm from, I ended up as a single mom. I'm never going to be able to own a home. I'm single. I'm not married. I'm divorced. I'm never going to be able to own a home. But instead what she did was, well, so what? So what? So what? Right? So what? It's like, you can just still do whatever you want with your life. It doesn't matter. Like every single thing, even the phone that I'm able to relay information on right now to you, that before was like a, yeah, right, you can't do that. There's no way you're going to be able to just pop on a live and like start talking to people all over the planet. Like there's no way. Somebody had the balls to say, or the ovaries, whatever, to say, you know what? So what? We can, like, let's do it now. Trailblazers, path creators, right? You can be the first person in your family to accomplish that dream body, and then show the rest of your obese family and your family that's on, you know, has diabetes, on different medications. My mom, I helped her. She was 280 pounds. She lost 40 pounds. Okay. If she would have said, you know what, it's just, it's part of my journey. My mom was obese. My great grandma was obese. My great aunt was obese. All of my aunties were obese. Black women, this is just what we do. We get obese and so she lost 40 pounds, and we're still on a journey, but she lost 40 pounds and has been able to keep off the 40 pounds comfortably for 2 to 3 years now, without going through torture, without having to sacrifice too much, without having to hoot and hun, hem and haw. She just made some changes with up here, started first, and then she just put those into action. So you can do that with anything. She said, so what? I'm in my 60s. I'm still going to lose the weight. So what? I don't really care to work out. I'm still going to figure out how to lose the weight. Okay. So bottom line is, anything in this life you can have. Now it's going to take action. It's going to take forward movement. It's going to take chunking things down and checking things off the list. It's going to take focus and discipline. But I'm sure there's some area in your life where you've done that before. You've shown yourself that you can have discipline. You've shown yourself that you can have focus. So you have the evidence of it somewhere in your life. You've made it this far to be watching this live, whether it's on the replay or live right in the moment with me right now. So that's what I wanted to get on here and say. definitely tap in. RYZE Mushroom Coffee is fire. Make sure to subscribe. Comment down below with what your thoughts are. And catch me on the next one. Bye.